Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is the Please Understand podcast. Touchdowns going on. It just said a second ago, you are live. Technology. Buckle up for probably some technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen, just like last week. I got to probably apologize for that right out of the gate. Bad quality on my end. I'll own it. Just be a little more focused logging in is the takeaway. Christmas week, ladies and gentlemen. This is the December 22nd edition. Squeezing in a pod before the holidays. Busy week with the Minnesota sports landscape. TWolves tomorrow night. We've got a big Christmas Day slate. Hopefully that can get you away from some unnecessary conversations that you're trying to avoid around the holidays. Wished a little better for our Vikes. Kind of a dusty game on Netflix, but you know what? I'll take it. I'm gonna be ready to go. Everybody mosey on into the live stream. Throw any questions you got in the chat. We're gonna be getting into some KG stuff. We've got Wolves OKC to break down from this past Friday. Very, very entertaining ball game. Vikes Giants. JJ McCarthy's hurt. Jaden McDaniels is hurt. Some good, some bad, some here, some there. But we'll get into all of it. But first, Phil, did you want to give us a little lay of the land out there with the traffic and weather tonight as the holiday shopping days are minimizing?
Oh, man.
How's it looking out there?
Roads are good. Temperatures are solid if you need that last-minute shopping to do. But I suggest not going out if you don't need to because it sucks out there. We went out a little bit on Saturday, and just driving around the parking lots makes me just want to I don't know, immediately go home. It's terrible. It's just terrible every time.
Sounds about right. I'm going to be trying to chip away at that. I still have quite a bit to do, unfortunately, from a shopping perspective, but nothing new, right? Saving it a few days before the holiday. I think places
days before as I was
generally
go.
open pretty late. Yeah, hey, nobody will know. But let's hop in, fellas. In typical pod fashion last week, big news dropped pretty much right after we had recorded last week.
Yes, sir.
Kevin Garnett and the Minnesota Timberwolves reuniting at long last. The release I got here on NBA.com, the Minnesota Timberwolves today announced that franchise legend and Hall of Famer Kevin Garnett has officially joined the organization as team ambassador. So what do you think his capacity is going to be? I think what we were all hoping, like the jersey retirement, I think that's going to be next year. Is that what you guys heard, or am I wrong?
That's what it sounds like, yeah.
Which is weird. What takes so long
because that's something
to get that dialed in?
Yeah, I think planning. It's just like you got to just almost do it like prior to the whole season is like planned out. They're like, hey, whatever, November 26th, that we've already got that scheduled to be Wally Zerbiak, like rubber ducky night. Like I think they've kind of already mapped out the year, and I think they should. I kind of would rather be, or almost just know heading into the season, so I can like we got to go to this. This can be a tough ticket to get.
That'd be a sick one to get to, yeah.
Just kind of jamming that in like on short notice. I kind of like that they're like, let's almost do this in like a 2-phase rollout. Like initially the announcement, and then we'll see what he does the rest of the way this season. And then next year we can have I would assume it'd be early in the year next year. Like at that point, it definitely is like, what are you waiting for to retire?
Right. Maybe home opener.
And sure. Or what if they did it
home
in like
opener?
A playoff game? Is that even allowed? Like,
yeah,
like in the
kind of nice.
This year.
The Western Conference Finals booster, maybe
get the crowd going. Yeah, when you really need, like, it's a card that you could play. A game 3, You know, 1-1 series coming back to Target Center. Hey, do you guys mind if we do like a huge halftime retirement ceremony during this pivotal game? You guys don't mind, do you? OKC?
Is that cool?
Hey,
Thanks, appreciate it. Yeah.
Hey, for LeBron, I mean,
Not a
they
bad
just
idea.
they just stop right in the middle of the game when LeBron does something. So why not? Fire it up. Be trendsetters. You don't need to be followers.
Why not us? That's our guy. It will be nice to have another number up there at long last. And we all know that this is more on his choice than anybody else's. Like, this is a Glenn Taylor feud that's gone back, you know, decades now. And it's one of the most beautiful grudges that has been held for many years. And everyone, we like, it's pretty one-sided where the support is residing in this one. So I have kind of noticed that too. Like, I haven't really been seeing Glenn in his normal spot, like right next to the bench, like definitely not as much. So I wonder
He's
if
only been there like a game or
just
two
like,
this year.
yeah, just back away. You know, you sold the team, like they're still letting you have those seats. So, you know, good job in that regard, I guess. But it's like even that might be coming to an end hopefully soon. Because if Garnett's coming back, that just has me thinking like, well, you know, something has changed where that guy's not going to be around for a whole lot longer. So,
can you imagine him in his seats?
That's
for
good to
his KG
see.
retirement game.
Oh my God. Yeah. I kind of want it actually to see, but cross that bridge when we get there. But overall, good vibes. What do you think he's going to be doing, like as ambassador? Just riling up the crowd and like calling people trash ass so and so during the games? Like, that's fine.
I'm sure put some video game packages together, do a little hype thing. Hopefully, being at some of these games, because just him even at the games just gets everybody going. So I don't know, make some public appearances, maybe get in there in some practices, coach their guys up a little bit, try not to punch anyone in the mouth. We'll just call it good from there. We don't need too much, but I'm excited that it's just all happening now. It's just Mark and A-Rod have really been listening to the fans on everything we kind of wanted. So this is just the next box they're checking that from those awesome surveys that we filled out. So I'm happy it's coming finally.
Yeah, it's decades in the making, really. He's already had it retired from Boston, his number. So it's like,
oh yeah, ways back.
Know, it's finally to get this done. It's like it's almost like I don't know, like a removal of a curse or something. Like where like not having this guy involved in your organization has led to, you know, some bad vibes or who knows what. But just kind of putting that to bed, I think is a good thing to have, and just having him around will be awesome. Like,
oh yeah, 100%.
I want this dude like on our bench if we can, you know, as much as possible. I know that's not going to happen, but one of our biggest issues is always like we just never like come ready to play, and I know that dude will get everybody fired up. So it's like just having him involved in some sort of capacity like that. Like, I'm all for it, but I think it'll be more of a title than anything else. I don't know that he's like going to be like too hands-on or anything, but hey, he earned it. He deserves it, and get the number retired and
give him whatever he wants.
Move on.
Yeah. It's just about time. It's so good to just finally have this, you know, the 4 years of dealing with the ownership stuff. One of the biggest things for all of us was like, when's KG going to get back involved? Like, that was one of the biggest things of all. Like, after Glenn being out, it was like, when's KG coming back? That's just so huge for the franchise, and like all the things that he can do with Ant, and you know, they're big fans of each other. It's just so good for the franchise and the state and the sport and everything else. So I can't wait to see him start being in attendance, and yeah, just him being here is good enough by me.
Especially for the Wolves too, because our history is pretty pathetic and short-lived. So like we don't really have much of like a legacy. So he's it pretty much, besides this whole new Ant regime that we've had in these last 5 years. So it's like this is all we really have, man. We don't have like a lot of things to put in the rafters. So it's nice to get the one thing that's been missing, the only thing we have left.
And we lost out on a cup banner, so at least we're going to be hanging something up there.
Thanks.
But
Yeah.
you are right. Like there's basically two sections of Wolves history at all. The Kevin Garnett era and now this Anthony Edwards era. And in the middle of that was like a little like Butler Thibodeau situation that, I mean, didn't really amount to anything. So
Little Kevin Love run.
you might as well honor your legacy. Yeah. Yeah. Those were fun teams still. I mean, after they definitely seemed more fun than they actually were, because it was actually like, hey, here's a chance at playoffs after that just wasteland that immediately followed Garnett and that Kevin Love squad. Like some of those guys, it was like, hey, Rubio, once he's finally got to playing,
Rubio,
you're like, at least this is like a chance to not be in the lottery for the first time ever. It seemed like at the time. I mean, those like what end of the 2000s into the early 2010s were some tough days for sure. So
dark times.
Great to have them back. Yeah, it's easier to look back on it now with the situation we currently have. But all right, we got some folks in the stream. Everybody, if you got any comments, throw them in the chat. I don't know if we got a choppy feed tonight. We're not smart enough to fix it. It's just plow forward, right? Pushing our way through this pod tonight. So tough shit, I guess, out there. But yeah, throw in any comments while we're kind of hanging around. Check out the Please Understand Spotify page if you guys want to subscribe to the feed. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. Supposedly that's good. People tell me to say that. So let's move back onto some more Wolves here. We've been frustrated, Jake. I think, Phil, you're in the same boat. These games, I guess we've won 9 of 11, and it just doesn't feel like that. I saw a graphic today. We have the best record since Thanksgiving. But the eye test, you're just like, okay, we're just punting another first half away. That's great, I guess. And I know we're setting the expectations high because, like, the goal is high. The goal is basically like get to the finals as an improvement. Like we're setting the bar high. So a lot of these games are frustrating. Like we kind of threw one away to the Suns. That Grizzlies loss was maybe the worst of the year. They were super undermanned. And then Friday night they beat OKC. So it's just like clearly the focus and what they're putting into night to night, these games, isn't the same for each opponent. And that's one thing I do give OKC credit for. And we've said that on the pod. Like, hey, man, these guys are professional. They show up every night and play their asses off. They've got a system and a culture. Great. Good job, guys. But I think Friday night against OKC was a nice little reminder of like, hey, the ceiling still, it's there for us, right? And you can see what Ant can do in any given game. He can be the best guy in the world, essentially. And you know, we always talk about the top 5 stuff. Like, you know, it's Jokic, Giannis, SGA, and Luka typically are like your top 4. And so, like, who's that 5th guy? But then when you see Ant playing like he did on Friday night, and you're like, what can't he do? And as you compare that to the other 4 guys in a playoff series, like Luka doesn't play D, Jokic doesn't play any fucking defense, Giannis can't shoot at all. SGA is the most he's ushering in a generation of unethical hoops. But like Ant, it's like hard to find weaknesses with him. So Jake, after that game Friday night, getting that dub, pulling it off in a clutch situation, does that make you kind of reassess this team's ceiling, or do you still kind of feel like we're fighting an uphill battle to beat OKC in a series?
Yeah, I think a little bit. It definitely was a shocker. I did not think we were going to come out and win that one. But it definitely does make me feel a little bit better about this team because OKC is the team to beat. So they were coming off a back-to-back. They've played in LA the night before, so that probably helped a little bit. But it was still a big win, probably the biggest win of the season for the Wolves. And that was awesome. Good to see it. Good to see them just try, too. So that definitely makes me feel a little bit more positive about the squad going forward. But there's it wasn't the greatest of all time. I'm not ready to hang the banner yet, but we're getting closer though.
I'd like to see. I know Oklahoma City's only lost 3 games this year, but the game that we played against them, that came down to the final couple minutes as well. I know we had a lead with like 3 minutes to go. SGA rests a lot of fourth quarters. They keep bringing that up, but the 2 games we've played them have been tight, competitive ball games, both in Oklahoma City and at Target Center on Friday. And I think we just match up well with them. I know like it didn't seem that way in the Western Conference Finals, but going back the last couple of years, we just always seem to play them tough, and it's just good to see. I think Hags, you mentioned it was nice to see Mike Conley sit that one, to see Rob, see Terrence. I think see Bones playing that game, just to see what the quickness does. And yeah, like they just kept up with them all night, and it was feisty. Chris Finch, I know we're going to get into that. Like it seems like a playoff atmosphere every time you play them. And I love when they play here because our fans will let them have it. And that was great. It really just puts you in that playoff mode.
Yeah, it felt like a playoff game. Like, and those are the important games. If you're going to kind of coast some of these nights against shittier teams, the games against good opponents matter more. These are like measuring stick games. So like, to me, those are the ones that I actually get excited for, because unfortunately it's just baked into the formula with this team, is like, there's a pretty sizable percentage of the games throughout the year where you're going to be disappointed with the effort and focus. It's just comes with the territory. And that's why they're like always just going to be like 3 through 6 seed. They don't give a shit enough about the regular season. And maybe that's playing the long game, and maybe that's smart. I don't know, but it frustrates me to no end. And I'm to the point where I'm not giving that big of a shit about some of these losses. I don't like watching them, of course, but it's like, in the grand scheme of things, does it really matter that much when you can bounce right back and beat OKC? Because what are we, 19-10? I think at this point, like, we're on one of the top 3 or 4 starts we've had ever, and it's not all going to be just perfect all the time. So I think that's another thing to just kind of, temper expectations throughout the regular season a little bit. But you go back to the OKC thing, like as a divisional opponent, even though divisions, it's like whatever, but we do, like, you do play those guys a lot. And I think we have 12 wins against them. I can't remember the stat was in the last like 5 years. We have the most wins against OKC of any team throughout that span. And yeah, some of it is just more opportunity, but feels like every year it's kind of like a 2-2 regular season. And, I was really like, OKC was a freight train last year, but I was surprised that the series wasn't more competitive. Weren't you guys a little bit too? I mean, I didn't think we would necessarily win it, but a couple of those games were just not even really close. I thought that would have been a longer series.
Was it 2 and 5 were the ones that weren't close? Because I feel like one was pretty close, but pretty poorly played. I can't remember for sure. And then we beat the shit out of them in game 3, and then game 4 came down right kind of to the end. If that sounds right. So there's a couple competitive games.
Game 1,
it didn't seem like it really.
You're kind of splitting hairs to try to make it look like it was closer than it was. And if you really break it down, just like quarter by quarter, even, or whatever, just through the minutes, it's like most of it, I think, probably was pretty close, but they just give you those haymakers where we're turning the ball over left and right, and they hang, and that's kind of ball game, especially when it's in OKC. So it's good to see us get a win. I know we got, what was it, 2-2 against them last year, with both teams winning once on the road, once at home. So it's like, there's no fear factor or anything like that, with our squad at all. And you can see Ant is like, dude, I can be the best player on the floor in this game for sure, even with SGA. And man, like the way that ended too, because that was my other big takeaway, was just like, we've been screaming about this for years and years and years, the officiating, ethical hoops, all this flopping, all this bullshit, to get an ethical dub and to have Ant just basically, shove it down SGA's throat with a block and then just rips him at the end for the game-winning steal. It's like, man, when it comes down to just straight up, like, no flopping, no unethical nonsense, like, Ant's just a better player. Like, that's just the reality of the situation. So to see that happen for all to see made it feel like even bigger of a win for me anyway. But you mentioned Finch, so let's get to that part. Yeah, Grady on the call. That really, I feel like that helped a lot. Obviously had no factor in the game, but from an entertainment standpoint, well,
it helped us.
Who knows? So Finch gets tossed. What was it? Six minutes into the game, he got thrown out. And what had me kind of wondering was, and by the way, he was fined $35,000 today, I believe. So for us, dropping the bucket. That's why we brought in KG. He's probably like, hey man, I'll help with the fines. You guys keep talking your shit. That's always his style. But Finchy, it almost like that was, I don't know if it felt like that, but I was just wondering if, like, was that a calculated move, do you think, before the game, for him to be like, look, if this shit starts going the way it could with the bullshit officiating, I'm about to take a big stand here. And he did, and it was WWE shit. Like, it was, it looked like a baseball ejection, where it's like, well, I'm already tossed. Like, I'm about to get in your face, dude. I'll kick some dirt up. Like, let's
kick
go
some
at
dirt.
it.
Yeah,
I might take first base with me.
I'm glad.
Those are the best.
I'm glad that's the way he did it.
Those managers.
Because if he doesn't do it that way, because you kind of saw him get the first technical, he kind of walks away, and then gets the second one, and he kind of walks away again. And then it was like, all right, now I'm going for it. Because I was half expecting him after that second one to just keep walking. That's just, I said my piece or whatever, but it was great to just see him get right into it and swearing. And you could see some of the words people were trying to make out what he was saying. Called somebody a piece of shit. I know that.
I threw Bozo out there.
He probably threw a bozo in there if he had to, gotta do what you gotta do.
Couple B words.
That was awesome. That was so nice to see, refreshing. We've been calling for years, and every once in a while he'll like say something in the media or have a little bit of a tantrum, but nothing too much. This was built up, I feel like, and this is from playing Oklahoma City the last year and in the playoffs. And I feel like this was completely built up, and it was like, you know what? Enough is enough. And I said it to you guys, like, I know we hate OKC for obvious reasons, but this isn't a Wolves OKC thing. This is OKC against the NBA. And it's just great when
against basketball
steps up and says some
against
shit.
the rules of basketball.
Yeah, against the game. Right.
That's the way I look at it. Jake, we were this happens a lot. As soon as I'm like, you know what, Finch, I'm finally out on you. He does the one thing that can pull us back, tugging on our soft heart with the hatred against those sirs. What were you thinking when he was just going berserk?
Yeah, I think it was kind of calculated, but also perfect timing, because the game before, too, he got a technical for yelling at the sirs. So it kind of felt like he's been boiling up a little bit, and he's just ready to explode, and it just happened to be against the perfect team with the Thunder. So I think it just all worked out perfectly. And it needed to happen, too, because the foul on Julius that happened was just egregious. They damn near tackled the man, and absolute no call. And it's just so embarrassing for these sirs to go out here and just try and call that game and think that they're doing their job correctly when they're just the biggest pieces of shit you've ever seen in your life.
And that's understating it, in my opinion. But this is like our number one cause for this pod is the sirs, mostly for NBA, but obviously they're very incompetent in the NFL as well. And, balls and strikes in baseball, they're going to be probably just going like digital. They'll just replace them with robots at some point. But the NBA, it's like, if I didn't see the game called the right way in other leagues, I wouldn't be feeling as strongly about it as I do. It's like an encouraged and tolerated way of playing basketball now under Adam Silver's watch, of course, Weasel. And people hate it, dude. Like, it's just a complete disconnect between the officiating, however they're like trying to have the game officiated, and what the fans want to see. And like you said, it's OKC versus everybody else because we're sick of this shit. Why do they get a double standard on both fucking ends of the court? And Finch finally had enough. And I almost get into the, complete conspiracy avenues of like, I wonder if these coaches like in the summer talk about that of like, it's not good enough to complain about this in the post game. Because we've seen some of that start to happen in previous years, Bickerstaff, that whole situation, where Detroit plays physical, so does OKC. Why isn't it called the same for both sides? So I always wonder, I'm like, what are they talking about with this? Because it's not just like, hey, we're us three here from our Minnesota perspective with our tinfoil hats. Like, if you got a pair of eyes that function, we all see this. Right. Everyone's in the same camp, except for fans of OKC who will just reply to your tweets with all this like free throw attempt bullshit data. And it's like, dude, like I'm seeing your guys just fall on the ground. And to add to that, we got a good example of that SGA shit in the open court where it was super easy to spot, where he get, some sniper up in the upper deck takes him out and he just falls out of bounds like a complete pussy. It's just like, this is the shit. Like no one's going to respect your guys' run here. Congratulations on building a great team. And like their GM deserves a lot of credit. He has the whole draft at their disposal every year. And it doesn't change the fact that you guys have created a cunty product. Like that's by choice. You guys are the ones out here flopping like that. Okay. Like if you want anybody's respect, play the right way. And maybe they will. I don't know that that'll happen, but it was great to see Finch do that. We've been, like you said, we've been calling for that forever. And we call for it a lot. Easy for us to say. We're not the ones getting thrown out, getting fined $35K. Because the other part of this too is like, if you go full in on this war against Sirs from their perspective, it's easy for us to say it behind a keyboard. They have to, it's like, I got to live with these people. We got these Sirs night after night after night. And right. At what point is it like, are you doing yourself and your players a disservice? But on the other hand, it's like, well, Ant doesn't get the fucking calls he deserves either. So is it worth fighting for? I mean, that's a tough balance to strike, but I think we would all agree that, like, well, the timing was perfect for that moment.
Right. And it's more and more being seen against Oklahoma City. You mentioned Bickerstaff last year. There's been countless examples this year. And then you see, I didn't see the Denver-Houston game, but the next night, Denver's coach gets thrown out, just losing his mind.
Yep.
The stuff is not getting caught, and it's embarrassing. Now, like the argument that they're going to say on that the SGA one you brought up, right? Ant gave him a little push. Worthy of a flagrant? Probably not. But it's the way like he's going forward and flipping his head back twice. It's like the angle that doesn't even make sense. Like you can't.
Yeah.
You can't do that. And it's just embarrassing. Like, and then you see him in the post game talking about he doesn't care about that. It's like, well, yeah, because you get all the calls. Of course you don't care. Right. It's just embarrassing.
Yeah. I like that happened out in the open. Clear foul. I'm not saying Ant didn't foul him. He definitely pushed him. And it was a clear acting job. And like, just that's the stuff we're saying. You guys are out here embellishing and selling all fucking time. Like, we're sick of that shit. And, it comes back to silver to me as things should. It's your fucking league. This is the product you're putting on display. And I'm seeing numbers of like ratings are up 30%. I'm like, man, show me the data there. I'm not believing that shit at all. This was like early in the season, up against NFL. I'm like, get the fuck out of here with this bullshit. You're probably hiding a bunch of like streaming numbers somewhere that like it's a thing you can't prove it or something like that. Like that didn't pass a smell test at all.
Yeah, numbers are all up because everybody has ESPN, Peacock, and Prime. Before there was on none of these. You just had to go off your local NBA ticket. That's all you had. Or your local TV programs. So now there's way more options for people to watch that people already have. So that's why numbers are up. It's not because your product is better. It's just because you're putting it everywhere.
Yeah. Yep. He's double counting some shit or something. I'm not buying that at all. because I've never
Stop
seen
the
more
count.
people that like are stop the count. I guess quote unquote casual fans. So it's like, dude, they'll watch like the finals or something, or like if there's a big game. Everyone I know that's like that, like when they watch the finals, they're like, what the fuck is this SGA shit? He's the MVP. Like they were laughing at this guy, the way he plays. So to try to then say that these ratings are up 30%, I mean, that's for another conversation, I guess. But just going back to like the silver part, we've talked about it. It's in the archives in this pod. I damn sure ain't digging it up, but I know we've talked about it, where that
It's out
one
there.
season where he was like, you know what? We're just going to change it in February. It was like right after the All-Star break. Free throws went like way down. And they do it in playoffs. You see a different style of officiating in playoffs. And it's like, dude, you got your thumb on the scale. You can fucking fix this if you want to. And we've seen it over the years with the sweep through fouls that they used to give 2 free throws for. And then it became a side out and guys kind of quit doing it. So it's like, there are ways to fix this. You know, it's just like they obviously don't care. And so that's where this outrage is coming from across the league. And I did see that thing you were talking about it was a Jokic play where Adelman was like, when they double him, they're hacking the shit out of him, reaching in. You can see the fucking cuts and scrapes all over his arms.
For
and
years.
They didn't call it. He goes right up to the sir. What the fuck are you looking at? Screams right at him, gets tossed. And it's like, good. Go get your money's worth, man. Like, and this is happening night to night to night. And then I think it was Saturday night. JJ Redick was like upset about the calls. And it's like, okay, guys, you and your plus 1,000 free throw differential in like the last 3 years, double.
There's one
2.
guy that needs to just not talk about that kind of shit. That's the guy.
Another podcaster complaining about the Stairs.
Yeah. Austin Reeves didn't get it to the line 27 times tonight. We got to think about rechanging the way the game is called. But yeah, that's our soapbox moment, but big win. You know, we'll see what they can muster up here against some of the better teams. We've got a tougher schedule now coming in the next, I guess, rest of the way. We've had an easy one, decent enough start, but I'm almost like, good, let's play better teams, because these games against the Pelicans. Yeah. I mean,
there's so many bad teams though. Like just looking down the schedule, you're like, okay, we have tougher opponents, and I don't know when that actually like kicks in, but Knicks, Nuggets, you're like, okay, and then it's like Brooklyn, Chicago, Atlanta, Miami, Washington, Miami again. Like, well, that doesn't seem like that bad. Like, yeah, I guess record-wise, some of these teams are good, but they play in the East. So, what does that tell you? I don't know. There's way more bad teams than good teams.
Yeah, and that's, we're not even in like prime tanking season yet, so it's only going to change. And the other part with NBA, this is the more common problem. I think these two need to swap. To me, the officiating needs to be number one. But number one right now, I think, at least in the media and what most people would say, is like, guys just don't fucking play. So you can look at your schedule all you want. You don't know night to night who's even going to be in the lineup from the opponent. So I do think that's one of the Wolves' advantages. Usually, say what you want about these guys, and are they always playing hard? Of course not. But like, we typically have our guys playing. You know, they're in the lineup usually. So I think over the course of the season, that kind of gets you a few extra games over the field, so to speak. So with that said, Jaden McDaniel's injured on Sunday. It sounds like it's not too big of an issue, but what was it, like bruised hip or something, like a sore hip? I mean, so he just banged hips and was just like, fuck it, I'm clocking out. Because he was on the end of the bench.
He already was, so it didn't matter anyway. Yeah.
Right.
He was like 0 for 5, a couple turnovers already. It's like, just go sit, bud. It's fine. We're good.
Yeah. Any regression we're detecting out of him at all, or is this just kind of the ebbs and flows, and first game with Ant back, a lot of high usage for him, or how you feeling about Jaden?
I don't think he's not going to be the top 5 shooter in the league. That's just not who he is. It was fun while it lasted, but that just wasn't who he's going to be no matter what. So yeah, it's regressed a little bit, but nothing I'm not worried about though.
Yeah, like you said, the shooting numbers were going to come down. But I think the rest of it, like I feel like for me anyway, I trust him way more. If it's like, hey, I need a bucket out of you, I trust he's going to get to his spot. That's one thing he's really gotten good at, is just getting to where he needs to get to. And inside of like 10 feet, he's money. So that deceleration move is, pretty unstoppable, honestly. So I think he's going to be just fine.
Yeah, I think he's one area for him that's got to be very tough is like picking your spots, but also not like being completely out of like the flow on offense. Because there's some guy like you obviously Ant, and then Julius is gonna do his thing, even though he can play make. Dante's chucking his up, so it's like, well, how do I fit in here and try to get mine at the same time without trying to force stuff too? I think when it comes time for playoffs, we got to make a concerted effort of not allowing other teams to be hiding anybody on his ass. Like you've seen people try to do that where they'll put like a big on him or something. Like we got to be cooking that situation. And I think he's done a good job with that so far. And Jake, you're right. I mean, he wasn't going to lead the league in 3-point shooting. So it's like some regression was going to happen just statistically, but overall, I think he's improving, and the guy's got the defensive assignment every night. And you know what I will say that for sure has improved? He's been staying out of foul trouble, man. Like we haven't had to worry about him going to the bench with fouls nearly as much as we used to after we just ripped on the Sirs for 37 minutes.
I got one guy I want to bring up, see what your guys' take is here. Bones Highland.
No.
Leonard, hey. No, Bones Highland. So I was kind of looking at his game log. 5 of the last 6 games played at least 15 minutes. He had a couple 30-minute games in there, which is crazy. But before that, he played 1 minute in 8 games. So like he was just basically DNP. Is he ever going to get a chance? Is what it is. I feel like he's earned a spot in the rotation. And I don't know where you guys are at with that, because, we're trying to get the young guys minutes, and maybe it's Terrence's night, maybe it's Rob's night, who knows? But I feel like he's earned a spot, and maybe that's a little bit due to Jalen Clark missing a couple games here. But what do you think? I mean, I feel like he's a pretty consistent player, and spark plug you definitely need with the offensive game.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about last week. Was we're going to see what kind of minutes he's going to get now that Ant and Mike were both back. And we saw Rob get a DNP last night, so it's probably just done with Rob for now. That's the kind of way that Finch talks about working his seasons. Is he has quarters of the season. So first quarter was Rob's time and tried to work that out. And now it feels like it's Bones Highland's second quarter of the season. So we'll see how it goes. But as of right now, I love everything that he's doing. I feel like he elevates everybody else around him too. So please keep giving him the minutes. It'd be nice to see Clark work back in there, but we'll see how it goes. And RIP Rob, it is nice, but maybe we'll see it down the road with an injury.
Yeah, I'm loving what I'm seeing out of Bones. Like he's making shots. Like start there. Like that's more like we've been so unproductive off the bench. So just somebody who can knock threes down. He had some big ones against OKC. I know they weren't like end of game shots, but like we were really scuffling there in that first quarter. And then once the second quarter, that was kind of right in the aftermath of the Finch thing. He hit a big 3 there that would kind of calm people down. To like didn't let that game get out of hand too bad in the beginning. But that's kind of like, is he going to be cooking every single night? No, but like as a bench guy, he knows kind of what a good shot is, I think, for the most part, and he can have his hot nights. And if he's not on, I think that's kind of where we're at here with this rotation. I did want to talk about the kind of the back end of that rotation. So I'm glad you brought that up, because it seems like the second quarter is like tryouts. Who has it tonight? Because you're going to play then in the second half, and except for Rob, we're going to jerk your minutes around like nobody's business. Because I thought, the Rob experience, like even in the course of a game, like it doesn't ever really seem to start well. But he had some nice plays in that OKC game, like a couple strips on defense, actually. Hits Rudy for a lob. It's like, all right, there's a little something going on here.
6 rebounds, too.
You got 6 rebounds, rebounding out of his area. But it's almost like you got to – he's the guy, he's going out and he's going to at least bogey the first hole. And then it's like, okay, can you take advantage of those par fives, buddy? And it's like, can he do that? So he's kind of giving you something, but you can kind of tell based off last night's minutes where his ranking is. It's like, we want to develop you when there's an opportunity, but Mike's back. He's ahead of you. Shannon, I think they're desperately in need for him to play well. He's getting ahead of Clark now, despite us being like undefeated when we just commit to playing Jalen Clark. Because guess what? He plays hard. No one else fucking will. So it'll be interesting because Jaden, he left in the first half. So then Mike starts the second half last night, but Bones actually checked into the game in the first half ahead of Mike. So I was very interested to see that going in, how Conley was going to be deployed now that we had kind of everybody healthy for the first time in a little while. And then we have an injury in the first half and you're like, well, okay, I guess we do have some players that we can throw in. So I think Mike will probably start if Jaden's out. And I guess he played, like the numbers would tell you, like he had an okay game on Sunday and made some threes and his plus minus was good. Finch just trusts him. It's like his little safety net to have out there. And he's the IQ guy. We got to kind of have him around. So,
well, maybe if he misses a few games, he'll be more productive because, yeah, you just said he played 23 minutes last night, 6 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. So, a steal and 2 blocks. So that's something. How's that happen? So no, he was productive and he seemed fresh. And he has to sit more. I think that until this last 4-game stretch, he hadn't missed a game yet this season. And it's kind of one of those where you're just like, you got to give him a couple games off. And then I wanted to say one more thing about the Bones Highland stuff. I love the intensity he plays with. He gets the crowd involved. He gets him like in his own head, if you will, like just getting himself psyched up, trying to get his teammates psyched up. And I like that. You need a guy like that to just go out there and just try to do whatever you can to get in the opponent's head or get your guys going, especially if they're struggling or, not trying. So that's nice to have too.
For that.
Either way.
Yeah. I think Bones, like, he's just a more like developed player at this point in his career. And he can stabilize the bench to a certain degree when, like, if you're throwing in like a Clark, Shannon, Rob, all 3 of those guys might be off on a given night. So if you have I feel a lot better about just having some sort of productivity with Bones being out there. And then you can mix in one of the other guys. But last thing I want to just quick say, Nas is back, man. He had a tough start, understandably so, but that's good to just see how, like, he's right back up there to be like, dude, 6th man of the year. If you need me to start, if there's a Julius trade, totally feel good about him absorbing more of a role on the squad. So just want to shout out Big Jelly. He had a dope play in that game too with I don't know if it was a rebound or steal. He was off to the races, did a little spin, got a big jelly out of Grady on the call. I was watching that replay quite a bit. All right, big chunk on these Wolves here tonight. So let's go to Vikes. Got to be honest, didn't really tune in as dialed to that second half. Cards on the table. Didn't really give a fuck once JJ got hurt. Brosmer came in. It's like, hey, this is too soon. We were all kind of finally recovered from that experience. But let's at least talk about some of the JJ stuff. Like, of course, a pick, of course, a turnover to the house, but what's with these receivers not catching the fucking ball? Because now even Naylor's doing it.
Yeah. And the pick wasn't even his fault. Like, it just right off the hands, right into the opponent's hands. It's weird, man. Just Jordan Addison dropped a touchdown. I don't know, man. It sucks. Hopefully, like, he's not out for the season. I know we don't have an official diagnosis yet today, as of today, but it would be nice. Like, I've said the last few weeks, or the last couple of weeks now, ever since we beat Dallas, it's like, we're not going to make playoffs, but wouldn't it be nice to knock Dallas out of the playoffs and then have a chance to knock the Swine out of the playoffs? That would be pretty. That would feel like a pretty successful season for me when you're not going anywhere. Yeah.
couple pelts on the wall. But he's injured again. Like that's the thing that you just like, it almost negates anything he does on the field because it's like, well, we can't really trust you at all. So like, what are we going to do going into the offseason? Like how many injuries is this now? He had the knee for a whole year.
Mm-hmm.
High ankle sprain, concussion.
And then what?
And
ankle?
now wrist. Yep.
Yeah, it's weird though. It's not like
everything.
It's not a revolving door of
everything but his
injury.
like throwing shoulder.
It reminds me, like, whenever I think of like person that gets hurt a lot, and then obviously now has come along as Byron Buxton, always hurt, always the same kind of injuries, and this is one of those ones that just seems kind of weird. Like the throwing, did he hit his hand on somebody's helmet or something? I didn't even really see the play, but it just seems kind of fluky, you know. It sucks that it keeps happening, but it's all different injuries. It's not like, oh shit, he has a glass ankles or he has a bad knee or something like that. It's just I don't know. It seems kind of weird that it just keeps happening, but I don't think there's anything to do in the offseason. He's going to be the guy next year, and I think the last 3 to 4 games or so, he's really started to show some signs.
I think you got to be a little bit more.
Yeah, it's like, how long is this?
A little more worried. Yeah. Before it was the last week or week before we're talking. You got to get a vet in here to either compete or just be there so we had somebody else. But now I think you really have to take a serious look at who our backup is going into next season, because you can't trust him right now. He's giving you no reason to. I know you can't plan for injuries, but sometimes this is just what happens with guys. It just happens every single year. You can see CMC, he has a couple of great years, and then he has a couple of years where he plays 1 or 2 games. So it's just a weird thing to do, but you got to plan for it, though.
Yeah, it would be irresponsible not to. You kind of have to expect him to miss a lot of games.
He's probably not playing Thursday.
That's like the almost. Yeah, I know. That's Christmas Day, Brosmer. I mean,
you definitely need to have a backup.
That's stuff for Netflix.
Lump of coal for Christmas for everybody.
You definitely need to have like a veteran presence. You got to have some sort of a veteran. Like, I'm not saying that, but I as far as like bringing somebody else in here to like be the starter, like day one starter, I just don't see that happening. They're going to give him they're going to give him as many chances as they can. Now, if we're in this situation next year, that's probably a different story.
Yeah, I think that also then gives KOC kind of an out of like, if he does start to play bad, you know, to be like, well, we got somebody else sitting right here. We want to win now. You know, that whole situation with like that allowed him to play Carson Wentz as long as he did. But yeah, I think you gotta, like, how many games in a row has he even been able to play? Has he had 3 straight? Was this his first time going 3 in a row? I think it was.
Might be.
Maybe earlier. I think he had 3 earlier. He won against Detroit, Baltimore, and then Chicago, I guess. And then Green Bay, and I think he got hurt in that game. That was a concussion, right? So he's done 4, a little 4 here, 3 there, sit out 2. But it's just killing any chance for development. But I think the other part too, you got to like, where's the veteran? Like we got Brosmer over here. Like, where's the vet like leadership? We've got a couple of just like complete inexperienced dudes over here trying to figure it out. And I don't think Carson Wentz is the guy you want to be learning under either. Yeah. Or Sam Howell.
It's Josh McCown. is that what they're leaning on?
I don't know. I think there's some people that aren't thrilled about his work either. So this is what we thought could be like worst case. Like coming into this season, the goal was find out about JJ. What do you have? And we got 2 games left, and can you answer that question even? And if you can, it's probably not a great answer. I don't think you're going to like, if you're being honest. I guess at least he started to show a little bit within some of these games, but it depends. You got to kind of temper your expectations for next season, I guess. But we're kind of every other. That's how we've been rolling.
I think you just got to commit to it one way or the other. If he's the guy, you commit to him through next year, and then after that, you can make a decision if it doesn't go the way you want it to, or you got to bring in somebody else and trade him like that. Like, I don't think there's any scenario where it's, hey, let's have two guys who are kind of equal, like the Carson Wentz crap. It's like, I don't know, man. It's just a failure. Like, what are you doing out here? And I don't know, man. I think they're probably going to give him a shot, but you're not going to get a Joe Burrow in here. You're not going to get Lamar in here. It's kind of where you're at. So it just kind of is what it is.
He finally did start to get the ball to Jefferson, and he's gone. That's what he sacrificed this season.
Right.
But it is interesting. Why do you think they're not coming out with any news about this? Right? Like, usually Mondays, like, you'll hear about what the status is, like, which just adds to the whole season. This whole situation has been super sketchy with his injuries and the soft benching and all this shit. And now we're just sitting here in the dark on Monday when the game is Thursday. You're supposed to have an injury report already out, and we do not. So what is this shit? What do you think about that, Jake?
According to Twitter, there's no press today, so nobody was in there asking questions, no interviews, no press conferences or anything like that. So the only news that would have been coming out is if it leaked out to Scheffler or something like that. So tomorrow we'll find out tomorrow for sure, probably. But it's just weird that nobody would make a statement or anything leaked or anything like that. But yeah, it turns out that's why there's no news, I guess, Mondays.
Or I thought usually they did do media on Mondays, but the fact that it's a Thursday game, the whole weekly schedule
in New York. So I'm coming home from an away game. There isn't.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, the whole thing, it's just the whole season with this situation has been just something stinks about the whole thing. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see what they do in the off season, but I think plan on him being the starter. And then one of the highest priorities is getting a backup. Like you said, Jake, all the time, like, we'll take Flacco in here. That guy can still get it done. How old is he compared to Phillip Rivers? Get to watch that old dog tonight on Monday Night Ball.
Probably closer.
Another birthday search on the pod. It took a while this one, but what if he's older? He's 40. He'll be 41 coming up. So we'll have to explore the market. Are you guys gonna? It sounds like Max probably is starting. You watching the game? How interested in this Christmas Day game are we talking?
Not at all. Hammered? Max is playing. Yeah.
It's more for fantasy football purposes than anything if Max is playing. So I will say, hey, shout out to our defense though, man. Those guys are showing up and showing out. Like, did you guys see the stat that they haven't allowed a receiver to score a touchdown in 6 weeks?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
First team to do it since 1988.
That's crazy. They're playing really well on defense. Yeah.
Jesus.
And it hasn't been murderer's row, but like you played against Dallas. They got a real good duo of receivers out there. So that's pretty big.
Yeah. For how long did you say? 6 weeks?
6 weeks, yeah.
For the damn. Yeah, I wouldn't have realized that. It's weird how like we didn't hear about that when it was 5 weeks. Like someone just dug that up.
It was out there a little
Maybe
bit.
we did, and I just didn't. Okay. Was it? Okay. I have not been plugged into the final chat report. I guess it's going to be a big fantasy situation. The games now on Christmas don't look very good at all. I think 4 of the 6 teams are eliminated, even though for a brief moment we popped back in the hunt on somebody's graphic the other day.
NFL Network.
I don't know what that was about. Just feeling bad for us or something. Yeah, I should have screenshotted that, but I wasn't available. So yeah, quick fantasy playoff chat, and then we can maybe do some shout outs and ski-daddle here before Monday Night Ball. I think I'm down 12 in a matchup tonight, and I've got Kittle and Taylor. He has no one. So I'm just like,
Oh,
man, my
yeah.
bullshit meter. Like, how's this
Oh.
gonna go bad?
Yep.
So what do you guys got going on? Are you wrapped up for the week, or do you got to sit through this one?
Nope, I got two big ones to go to the
Got a lot.
championship.
He's got a lot.
I need Jawan Jennings to stay under
For tonight?
16. Yeah, and then I got nobody,
Ooh.
and then I got another one where I'm up like 1.7, and I have Jonathan Taylor, and he has Christian McCaffrey. So it's a 1v1 to go to the championship between those two. So
That's
it's
is that the top two
pretty
back?
important.
Get the
Pretty big one. What's
Are
that?
they still the top two backs
Yeah.
in fantasy? I know like Bijan and Gibbs have really
Might
like
be.
come close. 'Cause I know Taylor's been struggling a little bit, but that's an insane like thing for it to come down to. Like the potentially the top two running backs in fantasy, 1v1. That's wild.
Wow.
So I'm sure it's all
God,
going to go
you're
fine.
gonna be in
but
for a
I've
hell
played
of a night.
I've played some hedge bets out there, so when I do lose, at least I'll
Yeah,
win a little underdog money, so it'll be all right.
you'll still thread the needle. You know how it works.
Somehow, yeah.
Yeah. It's like that quote they always say. I feel like Cartman said it in a bunch of their episodes, but it's like if we survive this, I don't intend to live in poverty.
Yeah.
Get those hedge bets put in. I did that yesterday with some DK lineups against my opponent and still didn't cash in. Like the guy had. Sometimes it's better to lose when it's just like the person just puts up 1,000,000 points and you're like, well, I never stood a chance. But like he had
Never even sniffed anything.
Olave and Jalen Warren and Lawrence and all these dudes.
What?
Like, so I threw that in a DraftKings lineup. And like the problem that doing it that way, like the pricing, like, so then I'm like, okay, I got to throw in Audric Estime just to even be able to build a team here. And like, you end up you're not going to win like a tournament doing that. So it kind of got took to the cleaners on that one. Unless Chris goes for, I think like 87 tonight.
Well, let's hope not.
I guess I'm still alive, but
Yeah.
yeah.
What a performance!
You're like,
that
yeah,
would
fuck
be.
you.
Yeah.
Good luck, fuck you.
It is funny. That's the funniest thing about this time
I
of
know.
year is like everybody's, you know, I know I had Gibbs in a couple leagues and then somebody else doesn't have Gibbs. They're like, man, fuck Jahmyr Gibbs. And it's like, yeah, okay. Like
Wish you did more, but
everybody's
okay.
everybody's got something different going on. And it is weird how it just happens to go down that way, but
Yeah.
crazy.
Every man for themselves at the end of the
Yeah.
season. It's
Yeah.
like usually you want to just at least be like, hey, let's cheer for Vikes and let's have the chips fall where they may in fantasy. But it's like Vikes are done. So fuck all your players. I'm trying to get this money.
Yep. That's
I
what it's
usually
all
try
about.
to be nice about it, but yeah, big Christmas Day. What's 3:30 Vikes? I think the Wolves are. It says 9:30,
9:30.
probably like a closer to 9:45 would be my guess. So that's gonna be seriously, that'll be a late one. But man, we owe Denver. We owned them, right? And now they've won 2 at Target Center, I
We
think.
got the last 2. Yep.
So let's go our home away from home up there in the
Yeah,
Pepsi
elevation.
Center, whatever the fuck they're calling it now. It is. Most people don't know that they're up in the elevation up there. So that should be a good day. Might just get all hammered that day and watch my teams lose. Shout outs before we
Tradition unlike any
roll.
other.
I'll get it going first. Rudy Gobert, 10,000 board club yesterday.
Hey,
What a moment for the big fella.
Big Roo.
He's been playing his ass off too. All the stuff about people not playing hard. He's been clocking in every night. And I know everybody clowns him all the time because he airballs a free throw or, you know, in that OKC
Frying
game, just
pan
like
hands.
wide open dunk, like threw it out of bounds.
Yeah.
But man, like we need him, man, and he's been showing up. He's having one of the better years we've seen out of him as a T-Wolf so far. So 10,000 boards, man, keep them coming. You guys got any shout outs or anything? Or
Shout out Kyle Pitts just for having a crazy career with his
Hey.
touchdowns. Year 1, 1 touchdown. Year 2, 2 touchdowns. Year 3, 3 touchdowns. Year 4, 4 touchdowns. Now in year 5, just got his 5th touchdown this week with 1 to play. So let's not fuck this up, bud, and just go ahead and sit on down.
Wow. Did he really? Like, he had 4 in the last 2 weeks. I didn't realize it was just 5 for the year. That is funny.
Yep.
He'll be
Consistency.
If you want 6 touchdowns next year, go ahead and draft him.
We were just talking fantasy, man. That's like potential league winner right there. The last 2 weeks he's put up, because it wasn't like a crazy week this week, but when you're getting almost 20 points from him, that's no joke there.
Kyle Pitts. What did he have? Like 45 week 1 of fantasy playoffs on a Thursday? Like, imagine, chances are if you had Kyle Pitts, you may not have made playoffs, but maybe he was just on free agency or something. Like, going up against a 45 Pitts on a Thursday, like, you're fucked.
Yeah.
I'd
How
be
about
so fucking pissed.
There's somebody I know that has a chance to win tonight, and like decent chance. I can't remember the exact players they have going, but faced Kyle Pitts week 1 of the playoffs and Puka week 2. That is crazy right there. A couple
He must
40
have a good
bangers
squad.
right in a row. Yeah, must
be nice. Everybody relying on Jason Myers. We finally had to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, that one hurt.
It's not easy out there, but all right, gang. Any last things? Phil, did you want to shout out Mito Pereira and his early retirement, or
nope.
Maybe save that for once golf season starts?
I'm happy about that. Squad is
Nope,
looking good, and nope, fuck him. Squad's looking good. We're trying to take the title this year. Go Torque.
Torque
Big
up.
live year. 4-round tournaments. Be interesting to see how that appears. Everybody torqued for the season. All right, fellas. Good luck out there on the virtual gridiron. I just really got a sense it's gonna be some bullshit going on tonight, but what else? That's just another Monday, right? So
Yeah, another Monday.
happy holidays, gang. Yeah, right on. But a couple ball games for the holidays will be nice. Everybody enjoy some time off. We'll be back at it next week, probably. Talking some ball, maybe talk some puck. Those Wild, they're crushing right now. So we're monitoring the situation. Bless up. We will catch you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe, download, like, rate, review, blah, blah, blah. We'll see you later. Peace.